The twin flame journey is one of the most intense and transformative experiences a soul can undergo. It shakes you to your core, stripping away illusions and revealing the raw, unfiltered truth of your existence. At the heart of this journey lies a dynamic that many find themselves trapped in: the chaser and runner phase. If you are the chaser, you know all too well the pain of longing, the endless questions, and the deep ache that feels like a part of your very being has been torn away. For so long, you may have believed that the only way to find peace was by bringing your twin flame back into your life, by chasing, by holding on to hope, by analyzing every sign and every encounter. But what happens when you finally let go? Not out of bitterness or defeat, but out of a deep inner realization that your happiness and fulfillment do not depend on their return. Letting go is not about giving up on your twin flame. It is about freeing yourself from the suffering that attachment creates. It is about surrendering to the divine plan, trusting that whatever is meant to be will unfold in the perfect way and at the perfect time. When you do this, profound shifts begin to take place. Shifts that not only change your relationship with your twin flame, but also transform you from within. Coming up are 7 powerful shifts that happen when you release the chase and allow yourself to step into a place of trust, surrender, and inner peace. Number 1, you reclaim your power. One of the most profound changes that happen when you let go of the chase is that you take your power back. For so long, your energy may have been tied to your twin flame, obsessing over their actions, waiting for messages, analyzing every interaction. This constant focus on them drains you, leaving you feeling powerless and at the mercy of their decisions. It can feel as if your happiness depends entirely on what they do or don't do, making it difficult to feel in control of your own life. When you decide to let go, you shift your attention inward. Instead of seeking answers outside of yourself, you start looking within. You begin to realize that your happiness, your peace, and your fulfillment do not come from them, but from within you. This realization is liberating because it allows you to see that you are not dependent on someone else to feel whole. The weight of expectation lifts, and you stop feeling like you are waiting for something outside of your control to bring you peace. This shift allows you to stand in your own strength. You no longer act from desperation or fear, and in doing so, you radiate a different kind of energy, one that is centered, grounded, and unshakable. When you reclaim your power, you start making decisions that benefit you, rather than constantly worrying about how they will affect your twin flame. You become more confident, more self-assured, and more in tune with your own needs. This energy shift changes everything. You begin to attract experiences and relationships that reflect your newfound sense of self-worth. People and opportunities that align with your growth start appearing in your life, and you realize that you don't have to chase anything. What is meant for you will come to you naturally. Whether that means reunion with your twin flame or something even greater, you will know that you are no longer controlled by the fear of losing them. You have stepped into a space where you are complete on your own, and from this place of wholeness, true love can flow freely. Number 2, your emotional pain begins to heal. Chasing your twin flame often keeps you stuck in a cycle of emotional pain. Every unanswered text, every moment of distance, and every perceived rejection cuts deep, reinforcing the wounds of abandonment, unworthiness, and longing. The more you hold on, the more these wounds remain open, never given the space they need to heal. You might find yourself replaying past conversations, overanalyzing their actions, or searching for signs that they still care. This constant emotional turmoil can be exhausting, leaving you feeling drained and hopeless. Letting go is like allowing yourself to exhale after holding your breath for too long. It creates space for your emotions to be processed in a way that isn't constantly tied to what your twin flame is doing or not doing. You start addressing the pain at its core, rather than trying to numb it with distractions or holding on to false hope. You begin to acknowledge your emotions without letting them control you. Instead of suppressing your sadness, you allow yourself to feel it, and in doing so, you begin to release it. At first, it may feel unfamiliar to not be consumed by thoughts of your twin flame. You may wonder who you are without the pain or what life will feel like once you truly let go. But as time passes, You start noticing subtle yet powerful changes. The ache that once consumed you begins to fade. The triggers that once sent you into an emotional spiral no longer have the same grip over you. You become more present, more at peace with yourself, and more accepting of what is. This emotional healing is what sets you free, allowing you to experience love in a way that is no longer bound by suffering. You begin to see love differently, not as something to chase, but as something that already exists within you. You no longer feel desperate for your twin flame to return because you have learned how to nurture and care for yourself. And in this healing, you discover a deeper sense of peace, one that is no longer dependent on someone else's presence or validation. Number 3, you discover your true self. The twin flame journey is not just about union with another person, it is about union with yourself. When you are caught in the chase, much of your identity revolves around your twin flame. Their actions, their choices, and their presence or absence dictate your emotional state. It can feel as if your entire sense of self is tied to them, making it difficult to see who you are beyond the connection. But when you let go, you begin the journey back to yourself. You start asking the deeper questions. Who am I beyond this connection? What are my dreams, my passions, my purpose? Instead of waiting for your twin flame to validate your worth, you begin to discover your own. You recognize that your existence is not solely defined by this relationship, and you start exploring the parts of yourself that may have been overlooked or neglected while you were so focused on the other person. This process leads to deep self-awareness. You may rediscover hobbies that once brought you joy, reconnect with ambitions you set aside, or uncover strengths you never realized you had. You start to see yourself as a whole, unique individual rather than someone who is incomplete without their twin flame. This shift fosters self-love and independence, allowing you to embrace your journey from a place of confidence rather than lack. As you grow into your true self, you begin to align with the energy of unconditional love, the very essence of the twin flame journey. You understand that love is not about losing yourself in another person, but about recognizing the divine within yourself. You are no longer seeking completion through another because you realize you were never incomplete to begin with. This transformation brings a deep sense of peace as you become the person you were always meant to be, strong, radiant, and fully connected to your own essence. Number 4, you release fear and attachments. The chase is fueled by fear, the fear of losing your twin flame, the fear of being alone, the fear that you may never experience this kind of love again. This fear creates attachments, keeping you bound to an outcome that you believe must happen in order for you to be happy. When fear takes over, it becomes difficult to trust the process, and the journey feels like a constant struggle rather than a path of growth and transformation. Letting go means surrendering these fears. It means trusting that love, in its purest form, does not need to be clung to or controlled. When you release your grip, you make room for what is truly meant for you. You stop resisting the natural flow of the journey, and instead, you align with the divine timing of it all. You begin to understand that love is not something to chase, but something that naturally exists and evolves when the time is right. This shift is one of the most freeing experiences you can have. You no longer live in a state of anxiety and uncertainty. Instead of constantly worrying about what will happen next, you learn to embrace the present moment. You start trusting that if something is meant for you, it will come in its own way and in its own time. There is no longer a need to force anything or hold on tightly out of fear. Releasing attachments does not mean you stop caring or stop loving. It means you love without conditions, without control, and without desperation. You let go of expectations and allow the universe to unfold things in the best way possible. This newfound freedom brings a deep inner peace as you realize that no matter what happens, you will always be okay. Love does not disappear just because you are no longer clinging to it. Instead, it transforms into something even more beautiful, something rooted in trust, acceptance, and true spiritual connection. Number 5, your energy shifts from lack to abundance. The mindset of a chaser is often rooted in lack, the belief that something is missing, that love is just out of reach, that happiness depends on another person. This energy of lack keeps you stuck in cycles of longing and disappointment. When you believe you are incomplete without your twin flame, you unknowingly reinforce the feeling of separation, making it harder to attract the love and peace you desire. When you let go, your energy shifts. You move from focusing on what you don't have to appreciating what you do. You begin to recognize the love that already exists within you and around you. You cultivate gratitude for the people, experiences, and moments that bring you joy. Instead of seeing yourself as someone who is lacking, you start to embody the energy of wholeness and fulfillment. This shift in energy is powerful. When you stop chasing love from a place of need, you start radiating love effortlessly. You no longer approach relationships with fear or desperation, but with confidence and peace. This makes you naturally magnetic, drawing in people and experiences that align with your highest self. Love flows to you not because you are seeking it, but because you are already living in the vibration of love. Abundance is not just about receiving love from another person. It is about recognizing that love is always present, in many forms. It is in the kindness you show yourself, the beauty of nature, the laughter you share with friends, and the joy you find in everyday moments. When you embrace this energy, you open yourself up to limitless possibilities. You understand that love is not scarce, and you no longer feel as though you must chase it to have it. This transformation brings lasting fulfillment. You no longer operate from a space of fear or lack, but from a deep inner knowing that you are already complete. And when you live in this state of abundance, you attract experiences and relationships that reflect that same energy, ones that are healthy, loving, and aligned with your true self. Number 6, you open yourself to new possibilities. Holding on to your twin flame in a state of attachment can keep you closed off from other experiences that could bring joy, growth, and love into your life. You may have unknowingly shut out opportunities for new connections, personal growth, or even spiritual expansion. Letting go does not mean closing the door on your twin flame, but it does mean opening yourself to the vastness of life itself. You become more receptive to new experiences, friendships, and opportunities that align with your highest good. This shift allows you to embrace life with an open heart rather than waiting for a specific outcome to bring you happiness. You trust that the universe knows what is best for you, and in doing so, you step into a life that is rich with love in many forms. Number 7, you align with divine love. At its core, the twin flame journey is about embodying divine love. It is about transcending ego-based love, the kind that clings, fears, and controls, and stepping into a love that is unconditional, expansive, and free. When you let go, you align with this divine love. You understand that love is not about possession, but about liberation. You no longer see separation as loss, but as a necessary part of the soul's evolution. This final shift is what brings true peace. Whether your twin flame returns or not, you are no longer dependent on their presence to feel whole. You have become love itself, and in that space, you find everything you were ever seeking. Letting go is a turning point in your twin flame journey. It is not about giving up on love, but about freeing yourself from the suffering that attachment creates. It is about stepping into a new way of being, one that is rooted in trust, self-awareness, and inner peace. When you release the need to chase, you create space for something greater than longing. You make room for clarity, for growth, and for a love that is not weighed down by fear or expectation. You begin to live in the present rather than waiting for a future that may or may not unfold the way you imagined. This shift brings a sense of freedom that cannot be found through external validation. It allows you to experience love in its purest form, without conditions, without desperation, and without the belief that your happiness depends on another person. You realize that true love is not something to hold on to tightly, but something that flows naturally when you align with your highest self. As you embrace this transformation, you open yourself to a life that is richer, more peaceful, and more fulfilling than you ever thought possible. The twin flame journey is not just about reunion, it is about evolution. And when you let go, you allow yourself to evolve into the person you were always meant to be, whole, radiant, and complete within yourself. No matter what happens next, you will know that you are exactly where you are meant to be. And in that knowing, you will find the love, peace, and fulfillment you have been searching for all along.